Good morning. This is Jonathan Gorman from iCreative, and today we're going to talk about Safari and all the wonderful things that you can do with Safari. The features that I'm going to show you on iPad also are available to you on iPhone. They're going to look a little bit different simply because the iPhone screen is smaller, but all the features are there and the buttons will have the same effect. If I launch the Safari web browser, we are shown our particular home page. I want to walk you through the navigation of the top of the display in Safari so you feel comfortable with all the buttons and controls. Top left, we've got the back button, which will allow you to navigate to the previous website that you were on. And alternatively, to the right of that, you'll see the right pointing arrow, which takes you forward. So if you went, if the first website that you were on was Apple, and then you went to another web page, Yahoo, if you wanted to go back to Apple, you'd use the back, and if you wanted to return back to Yahoo, you'd hit the right button. To the right of that, I've got the bookmarks icon. It looks like a little book. And the next visual part of the toolbar is the address bar, which has three elements that we will talk about. Reader view and editing the fonts in reader view is available in the little a and the big A. In the center, we've got the URL, the current website that we're on, and the lock icon means that we really are on the iCreative.com and that there's a secure connection, that the site is verified as being truly iCreative. To the right of that, we've got the refresh button. So you'll notice when you hit a website and it's loading, there's a little blue line that's going to show in the address bar while it's connecting you to that website. And if that gets goofed up along the way, you can always hit that refresh button to have it go and call up that website all over again. To the right of that, we've got three remaining icons. We've got the share button, which is the little box with the arrow jumping out of it, the plus button to add a new tab, and then the overlapping windows are also going to help us navigate the tabs and some other really cool features in Safari. So I want to talk about tabbed browsing because it's an incredible set of features that's been available to you in Safari, and it's a lesser known thing. If I wanted to open an additional website right now, so I'm on the iCreative.com, I also want to add bbc.com. To do that, I'm going to click on the plus top right, and that gives me a brand new empty window that has no website. So now I'm going to tap up in the address bar, I'm going to type bbc.com, and I can hit enter, and away we go. You'll notice that I now have a home tab for the iCreative website. You can see it says the word home and our little iCreative icon. And then on the tab to the right of that, it says BBC. The BBC tab is a little bit lighter so that we're being made aware visually that this is the most active tab. And then you'll notice that the iCreative website tab is a little darker and shaded to show you that that is not active. A couple of really powerful things with tabbed browsing that I want to make sure you're using is opening another tab from any existing link. So when you get to a website like BBC, you've got tons of content here to navigate through. And usually when you go to a site like this, you're trying to capture only the articles and interact only with the articles that you're interested in. And that usually means that you're going to do a little bit of what I call cherry picking, or just choosing certain articles to read. So in this case, I'm going to try my best to go find something even remotely cheerful in the news. And as we scroll down, I'm going to first tap and hold anywhere where it says Scotland earns Six Nations win over Italy. So I'm going to tap and hold on that. And I'm given this opportunity to open this in a new tab. So I'm going to select that. And then I'm just going to keep advancing. The Finnish town that rations carbon, tap and hold. Open a new tab. The world's most unlikely solar farms, tap and hold. Open a new tab. Why this plane might change the way we fly, tap and hold. Open a new tab. And as I keep cruising through this website, all I'm doing is sort of choosing the things that I truly want to interact with. And so we're going to go see about this mysterious ode to the Knights Templar. Tap and hold, open a new tab. And lastly, we'll go see what Al Pacino has been up to. Tap and hold, open a new tab. The result of all this tapping and holding is that I now have all of these separate tabs at the top of the display. They are all shaded to let me know that they are not active. But the neat thing is I can just start tapping on any one of them and I can skip around to all of the articles that I was reading. This is also really valuable because my original BBC homepage stays exactly where it was, so I can always navigate back to that just by tapping on that particular tab. If I tap on the world's most unlikely solar farms tab, you'll now see that two things happen when I tap on that tab. It becomes active and the gray is a lighter gray, and I also have an opportunity to exit out. And that is how you manage tabs so that you can enjoy the content and then close it when you're done and kind of clean up the screen as you go. The next button that I want to talk about is the one to the right of the plus, which is the little overlapping windows. And there's a lot of magic happening behind this, and you may have just tapped on this accidentally, and suddenly you're wondering what this all means. Well, this shows you all of your open tabs in this really nice format, and it shows you graphical representations of the pages instead of just the headline for what it is. I can also very quickly and easily close out of any of these by just hitting the X in the top left. So Six Nations, tap on that and it goes. Is this the start of an aviation revolution? If I do the X in the top left of that one, it makes that one go away. And of course, I can just tap on any of these and it pops open that tab straight away. If I tap on my overlapping tabs icon top right, it takes me back to that. Now, there's a really interesting thing that's happening also in this window. So if I start to get lots of tabs open on my iPhone or my iPad, on an iPhone, you won't see this search tabs top left unless you put this screen into landscape. But we could literally, when you start to add, hundreds of tabs because you just weren't good about closing them, you can actually search for websites that you have open running in the background in Safari by using that search tabs feature in the top left. So I just wanted to point that out because that's one of the things that's sort of a hidden feature for this tabbed business in Safari. Down at the bottom, I can see it also says left side 27-inch iMac Lab. Well, what does that mean? What's really interesting about this feature is that this particular iPad is signed in to our company iCloud account. And on one of our iMacs in the lab where we perform all of our repairs here at iCreative, there is actually a FedEx tracking website open on one of as a tab in Safari. So what this tells me is that I have any of the related devices that are signed in with this iCloud account will show me all of the devices and all of their open tabs in this screen right here so that I could literally tap on track your package or shipment with FedEx tracking, and that's going to take me right to that website. And I'm going to let Safari access my location, no problem. And so this brings me right to where I was on that other computer. Well, a neat way to think about this is maybe at home you're thinking about taking a loved one to Santa Barbara for the weekend to go to a bed and breakfast. And on your big iMac screen at home, you've been opening all these wonderful Airbnb institutions, and you've kind of been comparing, oh, this one's really cool, it's by the water. This one is really cool, it's in the mountains. This one's cheap, this one's a little bit more expensive, but look at how nice it is, that sort of thing. And you've got all of these wonderful websites open on your Mac, and then of course you jump in your car and you head to work. Well, later you're hanging out with a friend and you're talking about this. If you wanted to access any of those open web pages on your other devices, you simply tap top right on those overlapping windows, and they will show up in this screen towards the bottom as you scroll down through all your tabs. This is also true on your iPhone. So when you hit that icon on the iPhone and you look at the bottom of all of the tabs that you may have open on that device, right there hiding at the bottom is all of the open websites across all of your other devices that are running that iCloud account. So that's a really powerful feature. The last thing I wanted to show you on this screen is private browsing. Private browsing, of course, is made for if you want to look at adult content or if you don't want your loved ones to know that you're shopping for them during the holiday season, or you just want to keep your browsing history, searches, and that sort of thing private. You can just simply tap on the word private. When I do that, private becomes illuminated to tell me that I'm in private browsing mode. But I don't have any tabs open, so the first thing I need to do is click on plus to add a new private tab. Safari won't remember the pages you visit, your search history, or your autofill information after you close a tab in private browsing mode. So they're also letting us know that we're in private browsing because of that darker address bar. So this is a visual indication that we're in private browsing mode. And now I can navigate to whatever website I want. If I wanted to go to tiffany.com and I didn't want my loved ones to know that I was shopping for them, they would not know that I had been going to that website. So private browsing is a really neat and valuable feature. And so to get out of private browsing mode, I'm just going to simply tap on my overlapping tab icon one last time. And to close this private tab, I just click on the X. And then now that I've got no tabs open, I'm now going to also deselect private because you can see that it's still illuminated. And now it brings back all of my non-private tabs. When I click on done, it's just going to bring me back to the pages that I was looking at. So that's tabbed browsing, a really powerful feature, a great way for you to manage multiple websites. It's also extremely valuable for when you're shopping. So here's a great tip. If I go to Neiman Marcus, and let's say that the gals love shoes, so I'm going to go click on shoes. And we're going to go look at some sandals. Summer's coming up and we want to look. So I've got this whole array of products that I'm looking at. Well, what's really valuable is that I can tap and hold on any of these guys. Tap and hold, open a new tab. Go down the list a little bit. Of course, we want some Gucci sandals for $850. Tap and hold, open a new tab. These guys look kind of fun for summer as well. Tap and hold. These are some nice Jimmy Choos. Open a new tab. So as I cruise along through this website, I'm just choosing the things that I like and separating them from all the rest, but I have not navigated away from this main page. Now I can cruise over to each of those tabs and compare them and jump back and forth as I see fit. When I decide against a certain one, maybe I'm not quite in the mood or ready for any Gucci's, so I'm just going to close out that tab. So tabbed browsing is also not only great for reading articles, but it's really great for shopping. So keep that in mind. When we're cruising around on a website like BBC, when I get to an article, there's another really incredible feature called Reader, which is going to strip away all of the gobbledygook. So let's say I want to read this coronavirus, really super cheerful article. When I get here, you may have noticed just now it said Reader View available at the top of the screen just briefly. When you navigate to an article, unfortunately, we're usually exposed to all kinds of different ads on the right-hand side, and they will kind of slow down the loading of the web page as well because there's all this content they're trying to get your attention. So as you can see, I'm just trying to read about this coronavirus, but I'm being exposed to all these other ads on the right-hand side. To really focus on this, I can take advantage of a feature called Reader. Top left of the address bar, the little a and a big A. If I click on that guy, I can say Show Reader View, and it strips away everything. It removes all of those ads and allows me really just to focus on the article that I was trying to read. Sometimes the reader will disrupt some of the images or the videos that may have been a part of this, but it does a really good job of, for sure, isolating all of the content for you to read. The best part of this, though, is when you want to share this with a friend. I'm going to click on the share icon, and now I'm going to email this to my friends at the iCreative.com. But before I do that, I want to point out that all I had to do is share and then select email. And let's take a quick look at what all of the hard work Safari web browser did for me leading up to this moment. It put the cursor right into the to field, so all I had to do was type the recipient's address. But in addition to that, in the subject, it copied and pasted the headline into the subject so that the recipient knows exactly what this is before they even open it. The next thing that's really neat is in the body of the email, it's also going to have a direct link to that website and to the actual article. So if they wanted to click on that on any device, whether it's a PC or a Mac or a phone or an Android, they're going to get right to this article very quickly and easily. The other thing that's also really cool about this is they've copied and pasted not only all of the pictures and the content, but all of the links that are in that article are also still intact. So if I wanted to click on any of these related stories, those will all work as well. So I'm going to click on send, and that just got sent off. And a couple of things that's also included in the reader view is that in that same window, I can change the look and feel of this to sepia, gray, or black. So if I stumble upon this article late at night and my eyes are getting a little bit tired, I can change it. And I can even click on font and change the font that the article is showing, which is also really kind of a cool feature. And last but not least, in that same window, the small a and big A are going to allow me to bump up the font of this, so I can bump it up and then I can lean back in my chair, and from a distance I can really easily read this article. It's an incredible feature, and it may really transform the way that you interact with Safari moving forward. So this combination of using tabbed browsing and also using this reader feature are going to be some great new things that you can do. I hope that this helps, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you soon.